And welcome everybody to a special additional podcast slash discussion this week where we're going to get into all sorts of WandaVision talk. And as always, this is your host Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
So just to mention it right off the bat, in case you want our weekly audio commentaries for this, we literally do them hours after the episode is dropped. Check out the membership for the channel. We've gotten plenty of new people on there. You guys seem to be loving them. Thank you for the support. As always, we're going to keep doing this for every single episode that's coming out for everything Marvel. So there's going to be a lot of discussions going forward and audio commentaries and such, which many people are looking forward to. So thanks for all the support, everybody. But now, since it's 7 episodes in, we got 2 to go, we want to sort of sit here and do a big old discussion on everything, the theories, and all that. So, Mitch, where do you want to start?
No more X-Men theories. I think I think we can safely rule that out now. But I think it's strongly implied this is not the Fox Quicksilver.
See, I've seen it go the other way.
So have I.
I've seen
And
people
I
say,
don't understand.
because I can sort of see where they're coming from. Because if this is going to be the nexus of all the realities, right? Like this is the point. If she could, hey, I need a Quicksilver. I can't bring him back from the dead. Maybe we rip one out of time and space. I could see that because again, we know it's leading to the multiverse movie. So I can see how people are on it. I'm on the fence here. I'm 50-50 again. I guess I'm sort of where we were when it came to Evan Peters and casting. You were like, he's not Quicksilver. I was like, I'm in the middle. I don't know. It could go either way. So
I'm still firmly planted on he's not Quicksilver. Who he actually is, I still, with the whole book at the end, just to jump straight to that book, it kind of ties in. There's not many books that thing can be.
Yeah.
It can't be the Book of Cagliostro that was in Doctor Strange. It's not the Book of the Vishanti. It doesn't have the Vishanti symbol on it. The only 3 I think it could be are the obvious Darkhold.
Yeah.
That's the main one, and I think that's probably the more likely one. You got the Necrocomic. I can never bloody say it. Is it Necrocomic?
Oh, the Necronomicon?
That's the one. I always say Comic Con, not Nomicon.
Necrocomicon. Oh, that's a different convention.
That's Jared Leto's favorite time of year. Yeah, it's either that one or a wild one, because it does look like it's covered in metal, like iron.
Huh.
The only other book in Marvel that's covered in iron is the Ironbound books of Shumagorath. I don't know if they're going to go that far. If it is, what the hell? How does that play into Wanda?
We literally talked about that in the latest audio commentary. We're like, dude, what if it turns out to be Shumagorath? Like, I mean, dude, that would be that would be insane. That's a pull, but
it's the fact that it's clearly a metal cover.
Yeah.
Like, no other book has a metal cover. And I know there's people that have been like, it's not the Darkhold because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Runaways. It's like,
okay, you know what? I can see that as an argument, but the fact Kevin Feige walked in there and nixed Ghost Rider, which was going to deal with Mephisto, the Devil, and the Darkhold, and they said that was the central plot of the series, makes me believe that it could be.
Also stopped them from using Sword.
Yeah.
So very much a WBCW situation over there. Or was. He's now like, hey, I can pull characters from these shows. They're pieces on the board after all.
Yeah.
So I'm heavily leaning more to the Darkhold just because of connections. I've said Cthulhu since the second this show was announced. So 2 years at this point. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna manifest him into existence. So like, maybe Evan Peters is Cthulhu. There is a story where Cthulhu takes over Quicksilver and possesses him. So maybe that's like he's a bit like a dormant thing in Pietro.
I mean, it's an interesting angle to take on it, right? Like,
or the other side of that coin is what I said in the commentary, and he's Nicholas Scratch, and he is just a rabbit. I said it as a joke, and I've seen people say it. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna legitimize that one.
I mean, that's sort of where here.
It's very witchy. Like, they've been doing all these typical witches stuff. Like, yes, Agatha's connected to the Salem witch trials. She said it's her anniversary. The Lavender, the Azaleas, like common witch stuff. Turning people into animals isn't uncommon. And also like cicadas, rabbits, they're all very like dark, satanic, which you could say is a thing to Mephisto, but I don't think they're going to go that route, personally. But...
Yeah, no, I'm not. Like, I'm kind of at this point where there's things that line up with certain rumors and things from the comics, and like, but we should expect by now not to expect the comics to play out the same way. You know, like it in live action, because it doesn't make sense. They're not going to want to do that. So it's like twists and turns are bound to happen. And the way I keep looking at it in the whole speculative, you know, like speculate here, come up with a theory here is I'm still waiting for some sort of giant mind-bending reveal at the end. That I think there will be something, you know, like, oh, that's big.
Well, as to what that could be, like, hypothetically, if I'm right, and if that is the Darkhold, like everyone says it's going to be, that Custone literally makes that book. That is the book, like, his thing. He's the guy that wrote the entire thing. So, and that's where chaos magic comes from, and they're heavily with the Agatha reveal, and she's like, you're not the only magical girl in town, and her powers being the exact same, just purple.
Yeah.
Just how Billy's are the exact same as Wanda's, just blue. It's clear her powers aren't from the Infinity Stone.
Right. That brings us to the whole thing of, okay, so her powers were technically, I guess, maybe unlocked with the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but she's always had them to a degree, and they're going to explore that here. Clearly, when we get Agatha's backstory, we're going to find out some of those details. It's going to be like, okay.
Next episode.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't have a reveal like that and then not have a flashback to all of that.
Right, just like when we, Monica was booted out, and then, here you go. It's tied.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basic story and TV show structure. So here's a big reveal. Here's a little bit backstory.
Yeah,
they've obviously lent into the wonders of witch. They're taking elements obviously from the comics because yes, when she was a mutant, emphasis was. They always said her mutation just let her use chaos magic. So you can just say the Mind Stone, just unlocked that ability. You are a descendant of a witch. And I feel like that's the direction they're going to go in. Because you don't just bring a witch and have all this witch stuff and dark magic items and whatnot, and then be like, "Oh yeah, you're a mutant." Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you got to have some parallel there? And, like, it's the very typical, you bad guys, a bad version of you situation. So Agatha's a witch, she's just bad, or more chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
She sticks around. I think that's what she's going to be like. But
and we do see her, she's manipulating, like, there's PHO and how she was involved with something in every episode. We get that flashback. But again, we don't know if it's going to turn out to be like, is she a puppet of someone? Like, is it going to be revealed like, Nightmare has been pulling the strings, or is it Mephisto, as everybody has been saying? He's become a meme that transcends the show now, I've noticed. It's
the Mephisto memes, or meme Fisto. Yeah, I think Mephisto's not firmly off the table, but nothing points to him. Like, I suppose you could say the Darkhold points to Mephisto, but if it's anything, if you're going to explain the origin of her powers, you don't do Mephisto. You do the person that literally wrote the book where her powers come from.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I feel like if we were to suddenly get into, this is Mephisto, then maybe we would hear something about Ghost Rider and things happening, like going down that route, because the connection is literally, that's like his origin. So I think there's a couple of things here where it could also end up being like an amalgamation of a few characters, because
possibly.
Because they had to play around with the use of the devil, because you weren't allowed to back in the day. So Marvel's like, well, there's Mephisto and there's this guy. Oh, there's also Azazel more recently, who's maybe the devil. And it's like I understand how they did it back in the day.
They've also been making Mephisto very undevilish in the comics. They're making him more like an alien.
Yeah.
A space demon sort of thing. So they clearly want to use him because they're setting that. just had in the comics last year, there was supposed to be a Darkhold story come out. That's, along with a lot of comics, just didn't happen because of COVID and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's all I need to know. If you're going to do a Darkhold book, they're doing a Darkhold somewhere.
Well, it's that sort of synergy lineup where it's like, oh, why did they push this? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like it lines up, so it does sort of fit into that. Like this all lines up. So I would be willing to say it's probably the Darkhold. And look, if they choose to ignore what happens with the Darkhold on Marvel TV side of things, fine. Because guess what? The Darkhold ends up in so many locations so frequently that not even those things connected it. Because I watched all the Marvel TV stuff other than Hellstrom, and like how the Darkhold ends up with like involved with Cloak and Dagger and the Runaways after it was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is very loose. So you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. But also that Darkhold comic had Scarlet Witch in it, and it's just like it was Doctor Doom as well, but you put Scarlet Witch on it, you're very much hinting towards something.
Well, I do want to bring up the whole fact that people, and we point this out on the audio commentary again, is when the Stork, for example, like explodes into red, and there's like the fly and everything. Again, they are tippy-toeing the whole Mephisto thing, which people keep pointing at, but I'm like, I don't know if that's a misdirection or not, because again, they mentioned the Nexus, and the Nexus is connected to these other things.
Well, here's the Nexus could mean several different things. Yes, you could. It literally just could be the Easter egg to the Nexus, like the actual place a few people can go. I don't think it's specifically the Nexus of all realities, purely by what the dialogue is, where it's like, the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it? That's very much hinting at the fact that in the comics, Wanda's what's known as a Nexus being. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be, for those that don't know, it's supposed to be one per reality, and they keep everything in check. So like the balance of time and power and all that's kind of their job. And like, I think the 616 is multiple because of course it does. Like Doctor Strange, I think, is one. Jean Grey's being one. I want to say Doctor Doom's being one. I could be wrong on that, but there's a few people. So I'm wondering if that's more leaning into that. Because it's a very obscure thing. Because I think the last time they even mentioned her being there was when they revealed Doctor Doom to be the one behind House of M, pushing her into the whole different reality thing. It's just like, she's a Nexus being. We needed her for the life force and all this. It's just like,
man, that was so long ago.
It's like 15 years ago now.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't read it since it's come out. It's been that long. Oof. Yeah.
So I wonder if it's leaning more into that.
It could be.
Which, in fairness, is still going to lead to the Nexus of all realities.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're leaning at all into the Fortnite event. I don't think Feige gives a crap about that.
They're not going to pull a Star Wars and drop a plot point in Fortnite.
God. Oh, they could actually.
Oh, please don't. Well, going with that same sort of, I guess discussion and down in that direction, when we start looking at where it's heading, right, for the MCU, for Wanda and everything, obviously we know next 2 episodes are supposed to be big. And in traditional TV fashion, if you're going to do it how typical TV does it, which doesn't make sense why they would deviate. Episode 8 is probably ending with the arrival of whoever, probably Doctor Strange arriving to set up the final episode with the whole bombastic MCU style blowout, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that somebody else who Paul Bettany has teased. So I think episode 8, we're going to get, like you said, the flashback. We build up all the way to the final moment. We see it from the other side, and suddenly we're going to probably cut to the outside, and here's your 2 characters arriving, being like, what's happening here? Why didn't anybody call us a week ago? Like,
yeah.
So let's talk about that then. Doctor Strange, guaranteed. We know he's showing up.
Yeah, it has to be. There's no other way.
Who else?
Well, people did some sleuthing because Bettany came out and said again that no one's guessed it. So your McKellens, your Stewarts, your Jackmans, bye-bye. Like, it's not an X-Men character. You can forget about that. if you go back to 2015, Bettany did say he's always wanted to work with like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Like since he was kids, he's a kid. He's wanting to work.
In Martin Scorsese.
And if you go back just an extra year further, Pacino was in talks with Marvel for something.
Huh.
And we know they always like to go back to actors and directors.
Oh, yes, they do.
They've done it constantly. So maybe it's Pacino?
Huh.
And you could have, like, if it is Mephisto, you could... I can't remember the name of the movie where he played the devil.
God, dude, that would be wild if he was Mephisto.
Yeah. You just have Pacino in here all red as the devil. Like, that's... If I had to guess, because I really can't guess who it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's Pacino.
Ooh. Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea on the actor or the possible character.
And like, if it is, if it's Pacino as Cthulhu, I'm just gonna die there and then. I can die happy. Just like, what a get.
I'm gonna say, I don't know. I'm gonna go the most insane route I can, and something that will never happen in a million years, but if it happened, I would freak out and just Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. He's gonna come in pissing pissing flames all over everything. Like in my dream scenario, they bring in Nicolas Cage back as Ghost Rider, just like, yeah, we went there. What now? It's crazy Nick Cage just unhinged on a motorcycle, flaming again. It fits nothing. It would never happen, but in my wildest dreams, I need it to happen.
I mean, maybe in the Ghost Rider movie.
Maybe. You never know, honestly.
God, imagine if he was. It'd just be like, what's this show become? Like, who snuck this into the script and who didn't notice it until it was too late?
They pulled a Kathleen Kennedy where she didn't know that Luke was back up until the episode aired. Yeah. Christ. Trust me, YouTube said so.
But then, like... What do you think Agatha's actually after?
So that's the big one, right?
It's the big question, isn't it? Like, what is she actually after?
All right, so I'm gonna go on another insane limb. Whatever they've been doing here, Wanda gave birth to the twins. They are after the twins for something, and they needed her in that position. Like, I feel like it's sort of like pieces on a chessboard. And they need these two for something, maybe corrupt them, or do something with them. That's my guess. Just going by the last episode, something felt off about the kids and Agatha being together.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna absolutely agree with you, purely for the fact of she revealed herself after they went.
Yep.
And in the typical villain fashion, you don't do that before you got what you want. Mm-hmm. You do that after you got what you want. So the question then is, where are the kids?
Yeah, like that's what I'm anticipating. It's like the next episode when it opens up. We're clearly going to lead up to that moment. The last 5 minutes is probably going to be like, here's what's happening to set up. And my assumption is we see the exposition with the kids, how they're involved, what the plan was. And my guess is it will be some sort of big revelation, being like, oh, you played right into our hand. Because again, she tells her, oh, the kids must be in the basement playing. Because she pushes her down there.
Yeah.
Because
they want everything else she's been doing. She's been pushing her in a certain direction.
They want it all to unfold, and it's falling into how they planned it. So whatever the plan was, it's got to involve the kids. That's just sort of picking up the pieces.
I say it's literally it's part of the kids stuff. I think everyone kind of who knows about Billy and Tommy kind of knows the direction they're going to go in with them. Because if you go into the old '80s series, it was Master Pandemonium, thinking that they were part of his soul, so he absorbs them back into himself to get himself back. It turns out as Mephisto. You get House of M and all that again, and they just literally do the exact same story. Apparently, Wonder and Vision only have the same story with kids and towns and kids not being actually real. So maybe they are going to go that route. Which, if that's the case, are they going to do the whole resurrection? They'd have to do the whole resurrection thing again.
I mean.
So does that mean you get the Kaplans and the Shepherds? No.
I have this feeling, and it's just a feeling. I don't know anything. Nobody's told me anything, so don't take this out of context, that the revelation will be that all this, the kids are just not real. They were never there. They were something implanted. she doesn't have them, and that's going to make her snap. She's going to have this feeling of loss and defeat, and she's going to completely snap, which brings in Doctor Strange and the multiverse being like, what have you done to this reality? Like, and I think Vision pushed her to this. Imagine losing Vision and both your kids again. She would just snap. Like that's just my speculation. Again, I don't know, but it feels like it could work.
I wouldn't be surprised because they kind of alluded to the fact that the arc doesn't end for Wanda in this show. Yeah. What that means for Vision, I don't know, because I don't seem to be talking about him after this fact. But I'm kind of like, you gotta keep Vision alive, right?
I mean, I wonder, man, where they're going with him.
Sure, I was looking back through old rumors of WandaVision and old things that certainly might have said, and Wonder Man was mentioned for this show.
Yeah.
So it's just like, huh.
I mean, maybe post-credit scene is they have somebody and it's like they're working on Vision to, Wonder Man or something. Like they could. I mean, it could work.
It's just like, because you got to do Wonder Man at some point, right? You can't just leave that character at the table for good.
No. You definitely don't do that. Like, it's another opportunity to introduce another hero, different, and go in a different direction. Like, of course, it's.
And also going back to the whole her being a Nexus being and them actually going that route, that would explain why the multiverse is like it is, if she's that important to everything.
Yeah.
If she's not going to use the stones, which I still think the stones have to play a part in some case, because Vision does have an arc in this as well. He's not just there for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even touched on what's going on with him.
Yeah, we got maybe an hour and a half left. So
something clearly is going on with Vision and his the Hayward story.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean,
come on, Ultron.
What do you think's happening there now? Since we the main focus of everything has been on Wanda.
Yeah,
which she is the first character in the title show. She's like the catalyst for a lot of it. I mean, it makes sense. But
here's another thing, and nobody's really brought this one up, but we've seen how Disney treats spoilers. And like you look at Mando, for example, with them refusing to, at the investors' call, announce the Book of Boba Fett, where they know, had they announced it, merchandise and stuff would have spiked right in and there. So they don't. They care about the bottom line, but not enough to spoil it. For all we know, we could literally end WandaVision. They're like, hey, yes, she's going to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, but do you want to find out where Vision is going? Look at Wonder Vision or something. It's how he becomes Wonder Man or something. Like, they might have a series lined up and we don't know, and they'll announce it literally after we watch a post-credit scene like they did Book of Fett. So I think we got, because there's no way Vision just ends and it's like, oh no, done.
Like, and the way they're taking that, they're very much leaning more into the comics now. I know for years it's like, they're going in the comic, they're doing this and they're doing that. Like, they seem to not give a crap about leaving anything off the table.
Yeah.
It's like, does it happen in that story? Cool. Well, let's do that then. People are after nearly 15 years, people are kind of ready for it at this point. And, why stop using that character when you literally have all this you can adapt to? You can do Wonder Man, you could do Grim Reaper, Vision's technically not the same Vision anymore. We know that for a fact with this episode. Where he's like, for her it's been mere weeks and she had to go through all that, but for me it felt like someone else.
Yeah.
So it's clearly he's not the same character, and I know he's in a sitcom, so no one's really acting like themselves, but he's not acting anything like any Vision we've ever seen.
Exactly.
Like, Vision before would never have raised his voice like that. So it's very much like, no, this is not the same.
Right, because Vision before was calm and a very, like different demeanor than we're seeing. So yeah,
they've also left a lot of questions for how he's back. Yeah, so they're going this one. It's like, oh yeah, Hayward spent years trying to get this guy back online, but then Wanda comes and does it. So it's
and are they ever going to deal with his backup that Shuri made? Like, does that factor into this somehow? Like,
I was going to say, is that even complete? Like, what does she actually manage to get? Because she had to stop it, didn't she? So
yeah,
but if he has the stone. I can't get past the fact that he's got the stone in his head. We don't have stones in our reality, so and we've seen the Mind Stone in the trailers, which I just think Agatha's just showing Wanda, and the whole next episode is them in the basement and she's just flashing crap.
Yeah,
it's like you've done this to so many people so many times. That's for Stark.
Yeah.
That's for Steve. That's for Hulk. That's for everyone in South Africa.
I mean, I could see it. Like, yeah,
because she has that same sort of expression on her face when the stone explodes. It's that very like 1,000-mile Gormless stare. But yeah, so Hayward's been trying to get him back online for what Sword was a sentient weapon creation organization before. Monica, we know that because Monica said about changing the name.
Yeah, they've been trying to get him since Infinity War, which is about 5 years and a few months. So, like, because obviously Endgame did the time jump and everything, and Vision wasn't there; he was dead. So, like, yeah, like they've been trying to get whatever out of Vision and reactivate him for a while. Somewhere in that span of the 5 years, they got a hold of him, and we're trying to do whatever for however long. So,
and we know he's made up of several moving parts.
Yeah,
for lack of a better phrase, because he's a robot. So could this be a way to get a Wonder Man and an Ultron?
It makes sense. Like it does make sense.
Like, could we just straight up turn Vision into Wonder Man? He has the stone in his head. Something goes wrong with the stone. He just turns that body into pure energy.
I mean, it's a perfect reversal because in the comics it's the opposite way, you know. So it's like here, just do it this way and reverse it and do both characters. And again, I don't think people would really complain because if you want to get into it, this Vision is nothing like the comics. Just like Drax, like Drax is completely different in the comics, but people don't care. It's it is what it is.
It's like this Vision came from Jarvis, so Jarvis was a natural human butler. That never happened. The only similarities is the look and Ultron. That's kind of about it.
Yeah.
But then that means we get Buff Bettany? And I don't think the world's ready for that.
He's going to get on the rocks and juice and just show up on set jacked up.
It'd definitely be interesting if that was the case. And he hasn't got to keep changing how he looks. He hasn't got to sit in a makeup chair for 10 hours getting prosthetics put on his face. He gets to wear cool red sunglasses. But...
I mean, there's got to be a reason to decide to cut the Wonder Man cameos out when we know they were going to have a couple Easter eggs and stuff in other projects. So it's maybe. I mean, and like you said, going back to check old rumors and things people were talking about, Wonder Man was mentioned plenty of times. So
was Blue Marvel as well.
True. Yeah.
And I know people have lost their crap at the fact that the special engineer wasn't revealed in this, or they're thinking that it was that random military woman, which it clearly wasn't, because it was kind of like, oh yeah, we just brought you this thing. It was never going to be Reed. There's no way we would have known he was cast as Reed.
Yeah, I feel like we would. I feel like we would have known, but
so they clearly haven't cast that person yet, and they're just gonna wait to make that connection later on.
Right, you would think it's like, no, not yet. Well, once time, it's time. So yeah, I guess any final closing thoughts before we sign off here and meet people back for the next audio commentary and inevitably the last 2 episodes, because we're doing a big old spoiler cast as well after it's all wrapped up, so people can look forward to that. So
there was something else. I can't think of it.
Was it how Papa Magneto is showing up in Legion? Is that it?
Yeah. I think you're right on that one, actually. I'm gonna look at my Twitter, see if I actually tweeted it. I need to... So did I say anything?
Gotta look at my wall of rambling to find what I was thinking.
It literally is a wall. That's no, I can't even hide it. It's just literally a wall. That's a Nicholas Scratch bit, Darkhold. The Nexus being. No, I think that's it. Though, Sparky.
Yeah?
Sparky. They make a point. The literally the very end of this is her admitting she killed Sparky, which I think everyone kind of knew anyway. But it was still kind of like a Sparky. Like why? Why kill the dog? Is it just purely get the kids aging?
I think so. Like I don't see any other reason. Honestly, I don't. It's just like evil. Okay, well you hurt an animal. You're clearly evil. Like
it's true. It's a very quick and dirty way to be like, I don't like this character. They killed a dog. My pie in the sky is still the Everbloom.
Yeah,
because Sparky dies in the Vision comic. So I can't remember the wife Vision name. Oh God,
Miss Vision. There we go.
Yeah, Miss Vision. Yeah, like the dog died so she could do the Everbloom thing, and all the roots in her little basement area, like Witch's Road. Which I don't think it's going to be the Witch's Road. I kind of hope it is because that's very much
that would be fucking amazing.
That would look really cool and trippy on screen. It could very well just be the Nexus for all we know, or even a combination of both.
I mean, it could be. Yeah, we don't know what's with those vines. I mean, that got me really excited because I was like, oh, clearly witchcraft. The moment I saw that, it's like this is going in that direction because it makes sense, and purple usually is associated with poisoning. So maybe something could be in there. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think it's just some character poisoning everything, but it could be that maybe it's leaking in, and like again,
possibly
so much.
It's also like a darkness color, isn't it? Like purple goes with black. Also, I think to be honest, it's more just the fact that Agatha wears purple.
Yeah,
like Scarlet Witch wears red. Her powers are red. No, that's where my brain would land, but it could very well mean a couple of things. But like the roots could also just be from a garden, but I think that's a bit too meh.
Yeah, that feels a little bit forced-ish. Yeah. But yeah, you never know. I mean, they have a good explanation for it, so
because you can quite easily say the Witch's Road is the connection to the Nexus, and they need Wanda to get through it.
Yep.
But to get through it, she needs to know about her heritage and. It's like, surprise, your mum was a Scarlet Witch. It's a legacy title now.
I mean, didn't Feige directly tease that, saying we would understand, what the name Scarlet Witch, and so, yeah.
Which is why I've always been against the mutant thing. It's like, no. No. You made a point of that, and it's just like, they changed her origin to that a few years ago. It's kind of obvious that they're going to go to that.
Yeah, it is.
So hopefully she gets the costume with the wimple or the crown.
Yes. It's got to be like a heritage kind of passing of the...
Yeah. And he just explains why Pietro can do what he did. So, my kids are magical. We can just do this. Also, Agnes gave me the impression, or Agatha gave me the impression that there's more than just those two that are magical in this town.
Yeah, same. Yep.
Which... It's got to be Dottie.
I mean, look, it lines up with the comics, like the Dottie and everything. So it's like, if it's not, it's like, wow, you clearly didn't intend that one to match up with something, or maybe they did. Maybe it's a misdirection.
It's probably just a nice little wink and a nod to the fact that Arcana exists in the Squadron Supreme. But the Squadron's getting a push right now, and we coincidentally have a Squadron Supreme member in this show.
And they've been heavily rumored to be featured in Loki. So
or at least some of them anyway. Plus, we've got Eternals coming, so Hyperion can easily be done. So they're very much on the way. But because if you go back to when was the one episode where Dottie was first brought in? Was it 2?
Yeah, episode 2. Yep.
Yeah, like if you count how many people were with her, I think if you take out Wanda and Monica, there's 7. Which coincidentally the second 7. It's just like, I see you. So they could easily do a flashback to the Salem, and they all just died. Yeah, Salem, and some reason they've been. Maybe the whole thing is just about trying to get resurrected, and Agatha's not actually there; she's a ghost, and that's why they can't identify either her or Dottie.
That might make sense too. Yeah,
and they need the twins for souls to get back.
Yep,
something like
that. Which
again
kind of makes sense with the whole loss thing, and what Wanda's been going through to lead her to this point. So
Like, instead of absorbing kids into a grown ass devil man, like let's not do that.
Grown ass devil Al Pacino.
We can still do they disappear and then resurrect as teenagers, and they've been in the MCU all this time. They just forgot about everything until they meet each other again.
Yeah,
like you could easily do that route, but it's something else. It's completely gone out of my head.
Well, I guess I suppose that'll bring us around to the end of this additional little piece of content for everybody. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to post your paragraphs worth of theories and everything, because god damn, there's so many. Like I've seen some pretty insane theories. I'm like, you know what? I can't even say this would be out of the question because it wouldn't. So like,
I mean, if it involves X-Men,
yeah, that's the only thing. I'm like, probably not. But hey, I mean, we got 2 episodes to go. We'll find out. Like it's.
Dottie's Emma Frost. No. That's such the prevalent one, and I'm like, guys, no.
Nope.
It's clearly an Easter egg.
If you were gonna do that, then just bring like January Jones back and be more on the nose than anything.
Yeah.
Come on. So
it's like completely off topic. There's Jennifer Lawrence casting rumor.
Yeah.
And people are going, how can Mystique be Reed Richards or Sue Storm? Because they've just done the multiverse now with Quicksilver. It's just like, really?
Say hi to Cottonmouth, though.
Like, yeah. I mean, Gemma Chan.
Yeah.
Hey, you were this villain. Do you want your own franchise?
Right. Yeah. Amazing.
People always amaze me. And
same.
MCU TikTok definitely amazing me every day.
Oh, God.
Like, they are... I mean, if the rabbit is Doctor Strange, fair play to that one guy. But...
yeah.
No. End of.
Well, with 2 episodes to go, we'll know soon enough. So, thanks everybody for joining us, and we will catch you all next time.